team, welcome back to our day 4 for our SDET Python training. And we've been covering some good topics, team. So in the first few days, what is it that we've done? And let's put it in day 3 also. We're writing a lot of code slowly. If you've observed, daily we are adding some programs to our list and we are progressing on them. And in yesterday's session, we didn't really do too much, but we spoke about input and then we spoke about assignment, weekend, and math operator. If, elif. Okay, so that is one more that we saw. And we did an assignment, math, weekend, correct? That's what we did. Today we're going to go further, team. There was an assignment yesterday that I gave for a math calculator. Did anyone make progress on that? Do you want to show that, please? I would love to start with that and then go on to the other one. So what was the assignment? Purpose is enter two numbers, enter an operator, and give out the result as to what happens with it. So I added these 3 steps, but basically after that, how do we make things happen? So anyone who is willing to present, please raise your hand. We would love to see what you're doing. Meanwhile, there are a few questions, team, that's come up. Like, you know, where are the videos? So please, I feel very, you know, disappointed when you ask me for those things, team. So your basic videos will be on youtube.com/QTPElearn. If you subscribe to it, you'll get a notification. Under this, go to the videos. All the latest videos that we're doing are coming here, the demo ones. Once the demos videos are done, everything else will go into the website. So let me write that note down so that it's clarity. If anyone has a question on that, please let me know. So day 4, 1 is last free session from Monday. Members only. Videos will be uploaded to ITeLearn.com. What's it doing? Yes. And these being the videos. Team, can you all hold on for a quick minute, please? I'm going to be back. All right, team, let's continue. So you have your videos here, and please, I don't do too many sales items or discussions, team. If you're interested in continuing as membership, please join in, and you'll get your access within 24 hours. All right. So now let's see. I've got only one hand raised. Is that it? Only one of you have finished assignment? No one else? Okay, got one more. That's it. All right, let me make you presenter. I don't know your name. It's showing as GL, but it should come. If you missed yesterday's session, team, look at the video once and you should be able to catch it. Okay, great. Yes, I can see your screen. Who's this? Hi. Hi, who's this? Whose screen am I seeing? Hello. I think I can hear you. Can you say hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Wow. Okay. So I did a little bit of homework last night and I went a little bit beyond what you were asking for. It was kind of an interesting assignment. What would you like to know?
Nice. I see that You've gone a little ahead as well, which is good. That's fine. I would not recommend everyone until you're confident and comfortable with what was done so far. If you're comfortable with what was done so far, take it to the next level. Not a problem. Run me through the code, please.
Say that again?
Can you walk me through the code as to what it is doing?
Sure. So what you asked was for some input from the user, and you wanted to do some calculations. Now, I'm pretty sure there's a better way of, once the calculations are in, to reflect that. But all I could think to do was the user needed some feedback insofar as what the operator was. So I did your assignment, and then I found other ways to allow for input while actually accepting floating variables. What?
So one recommendation for operator, for example, the easiest one to do is, instead of it is okay to use it as is the operator, or you can always assign it as numericals and say, like, press 1 for addition, 2 for subtraction, 3 for multiplication, and so on. And while loop is good if you want to continue to do, like in this case where you're planning to maybe keep doing this repeatedly till you say no. You may want to do this 10 times or 22 times. It's your call. And
Yes.
also see that the input that we are getting, you're converting, using a try except in case there's a value error. That wasn't even a number. I'm reading line number 10. So see, and very nice, very, very, very nice to see how we are thinking through various permutations and combinations, and what is it that could happen as an input from a user, or features for the application itself, and so on. So primarily what that line 9, 10, 11 are doing is, if the value is not recognized, then we're printing that statement and quitting the program. And we'll go through all of this, team. We haven't come to while and for. Maybe we'll have a little chance today. If you go below further, team, from line 13 onwards, and I'm sorry, I'm reading your code out for you.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, thank you. The first, we're taking the operator. And line 14, if you see, while operator is one of these items, then we'll say operate is okay. While the operator is not one of these items, then we'll say operator.input, try again. Make sure that you're entering only these 4 operators, nothing else. Else, line 16 is else. What it is meaning is, if it is one of them, so that line 14 passed, then we are going through, if this, then this, if this, then this. We can, there's else if, else, then nice, very nice. It's a neat code. Can you scroll down for me, please? Okay. X operated text, Y calculated. Nice. And I see a and else where, fine, who wants to play? Line 34 is very, very funny. That I think will get hit where they enter a no, that do you want to play with some numbers when we ask, and then we quit after that. There's a comment from line 37 to 40. I'm just observing. Conversely, we can cover sum in one line of code. Need conditional because user could use different operators. Print the sum is percentile if, okay, yeah. And here is the most interesting thing that you will see, especially in the world of Python, team. a lot of programmers, they will take this 30-35 lines of code and put it into like 3-4 lines of code. That is primarily code optimization. There is also performance optimization, where which code will run faster, code A or code versus code B, and so on. But slowly let's get there. But it is good to see what. Can I get your name, sir?
Sure, Jeff.
Jeff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Jeff, if team, when you look at Jeff's code, you see how we could take the assignment and really play around with it. We can keep on looping, make sure if the user enters invalid things, how do we come out of it? So very well done, very well managed. Can it be further optimized? Yes. Can it be made more complex? Totally yes. But I think it works, and it's very easily readable as well. The way the code has been aligned also is very neat. It's easy to kind of easily walk through it. That's my feedback. Great job, Jeff. And are you also doing the other assignments based on what you see progressing along accordingly?
Somewhat. I've got a full-time job and other things to do in life, but yeah, your assignments forced me to learn a little bit, and I Google from there, and I'm learning a lot. Thanks.
Great, excellent. And one of the other tutorials I'll show you all, team, W3 schools, that I would want you all to use as an additional reference, and Stack Overflow. Thank you, Jeff. I'm moving on to Chitra's screen now. And
Hi, Karthik.
hi. Okay.
So this is my code. So here I'm just entering the number using this input function, and then here I'm just yeah. So here I'm just typing the printing the type. What type is that, X and Y? And then so I'm because since we are reading from the console, so it's a string actually. So I'm converting them into an integer. So type conversion is happening here. And then I'm assigning into A and B variable. And then so after getting the operator right, which operator, I'm just going with this if else if conditions. If it is operator plus, then I'm adding a number, and if it is a minus, and then subtraction has to do, and then if it is a star, multiplication, and then if it is a divide symbol, then it's a division. So that's all. So do you want me to run this?
Sure, we can run it.
Sorry. And then next number is 10, and then so now we're asking operator, so I'm just putting a division. So it's giving a 2. 20 divided by 10, 2.
Sure. And if you, and perfect, very nice. And see, this code is, can you scroll up on your code, please, Chitra? So I like the code because the way it's organized, again, and the way we are one by one taking the inputs first in the first 3 lines, line 7, 8, and 9, and then we're working on it based on what we have. We're trying to do it. I think this is the most simplest way to approach it, and definitely a great job on it. Good job, Chitra, and it works. So if we, but the only thing is, it works only for one time. It may not work for multiple times, and where we may use a for or a while. After we learn it, we'll apply back into here.
Yeah, sure. And then I tried your code also. I applied a little bit on little my effort. Like yesterday we worked on the day, right?
Yes.
So yeah, I have put a little bit on this. So I have changed to the, I tried this with the case fold also. It worked. And then again, I'm changing to the uppercase or lowercase. It's working. So I have written the conditions, like whatever you wrote. So I remember that, and then little n, and I
Sure. Sure. And absolutely, team. I like the way it is being done because we are not stopping with it, and we will cover a lot of concepts. Python is a rich programming language, so it's got a lot of features that we will look into. And as we keep working on it, we'll understand like what does case fold do, how are we do type conversions and so on. Let's take them one by one. And do note, team, for just so that we all can be on the same speed, I'm keeping the speed much slower than what you're seeing. So typically, by now we should have gone into while and for, and talked about strings and operators on strings and so on. But that is fine. We are not in a hurry. We want to make sure whatever we're doing it correctly one after the other. Using upper function, using lower function. See how she's trying on line 13, 14, 15. Just experimenting as to seeing what is casefall doing. What is to upper, to lower, all of this doing. When we come to string operations, we'll work on these.
So when I enter an invalid thing, so this is how I just so case fold is converting to a lower case actually, and then uppercase it converts the uppercase, and then lowercase this one. So now I need to enter a value because I didn't enter the day, so I just entered Jan. So now I'm going to enter some Monday or Tuesday. Now it's saying Monday weekday.
So, and
yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. So what if we enter Monday instead of month? The variations to it. And as programming keeps going, as applications are more and more critical and important, you will see that we'll have to handle all those cases and scenarios. We're going to look at something like a simple user login thing with the username password concept and try and build that in today's session. We'll do this.
Sure.
But that's good. Can you scroll down on your code a little bit more?
So first thing I tried with the case fold, and then I tried with upper.
And line 29 it is continuing to take enter valid if it's not.
Yeah, because it's invalid. Yeah, you're right. Valid. Yeah, I was correct. Yeah. So like when I enter Jan, right?
Yes, it's
So
invalid.
when I enter Jan, so it executed the code, and then it says enter valid date. And then after that,
as long as we enter one of these valid dates, 7 days.
Yeah. Second time I entered the valid day, and then it gives me it's Monday, weekday. Monday is a weekday.
Sure, absolutely. Good job. Thank you, Chitra.
Thank you, Karthik.
All right, excellent. And I'm not taking deeper look because we haven't gone into the while part yet, but we will.
Yeah.
All right, upper hand raise. I made you presenter.
Hey Karthik, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen and hear you as well.
Okay. So here's my assignment. So as you can see, I have two numbers, num1 and num2, and I'm taking an input from the user along with the operator, and then I'm doing a if condition for different operators, and I'm also like printing out what they chose, and I'm doing the appropriate operation, and I'm printing out the result.
No, very nice, very simple code. If I write a code, my first code attempt will be very similar to this. It will not be even an inch different because it is not necessarily handling all the situations possible, like valid or not, and all these things you see. or looping through till we have the user doing it like Jeff and Chitra showed. But in the simplest format, this works beautifully. And good job on that. So I want to, so it works, right? Everything is good with it?
Yes, it works. Actually, I was trying one of the exceptional scenarios wherein I enter the second number as 0. As you look at my the console, the output, I entered the first number as 1 and second as 0. And here, when I enter an operation of division, it gives me a 0 division error.
Karthik, I have a question. So we are reading from the console, right? Usually it takes like as a string. How we can add the string? It just concatenates.
Converting it, right, on line 7 and 8 to integer first, and then putting it
Oh,
number.
yeah. She did. Yeah.
Yes. So after we input, so the way it works, and I'll show it to you. I'm going to write that code also very quickly at my end. So see, and 0 division error, and that is where and why Jeff used, the try except, but for a different value error thing. And so 0 division error, you can, all of this we could do as part of our exception handlings. Good job. And so, it is smart of you to have tried what happens when we divide by 0. What does Python say to us? Very smart how you try to make it. And that is this is called a runtime error thing. And can you write a line on line 20, a new line?
Sure.
Say print end of code. Now rerun this.
Okay.
Do the same exercise, 1 0 divide.
Sure.
Okay. Now see that line 20 did not come because on line number 17, you see, that is what it's pointing to, is where it failed. And once it fails with a runtime error theme, it comes out of the program. It does not go into the next steps. It crashes basically. It stops right then and there. Unless we use a try except thing, which we will cover in about 3 to 4 sessions. Good job, Aparna. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karthik.
Now I feel that my challenge has gone to the next level. I have to be very creative in teaching because see how good you all are doing. Excellent. Very good. I feel good, team. Thank you. All right, great. So now where are we? We are there with the code. Let's do a couple of things, team. I'm going to finish this and I'm going to talk about another code. After this, I'm going to call this as 10. It's not really assignment. User login, I'll just say, and we'll create work on this, and I'll give you an assignment around. Okay, let's finish this. Same thing that we did. So see how I'll try and organize my code. I have 3 where I'm taking the input. So I can put a line here and say, take the inputs from the user. Now I wanted to show you the casting team, type casting as when we are sending information, we have to convert it into integer. If we don't, there is an issue when we are doing math operators on it. But let's explore that later. We're a little short of time today. I have a few things to discuss. And always remember, team, if you open one bracket, you have to close it. See, I put my cursor on before this or after this bracket, yes, and it went into yellow. And the corresponding bracket that says where is the closure corresponding to this is the other yellow here. And who is the one who's giving us these features of yellow and green and blue and making it much more interactive than this stupid notepad versions of seeing a script. It is from the PyCharm IDE. Your integrated development environment PyCharm is giving you these features. So for int I have. So here is where we have a challenge. And where is the input? So now it's saying syntax error. I don't have a closed one for that, open one. So make sure if they're two open, they're two closed. And whenever you're doubting about have I enough, use these cursor options where you can see where it's starting and ending. So this is done. Now, what is the next one? Make calculation. And I'm going to keep it as simple as that, team. If operator op1 equals. Now, do we need on line 10 for it to be converted to string? Enter the operator. And here, like they said, like all of you have been doing, plus, minus, divide, multiply, or divide. Okay. Sorry. No, not in this case. It's gonna be a string. Why? Because I will compare it like a string out here with something. So I'll say if it is plus and colon print result is x plus y. Okay, yes, and separated by comma. So basically, how does this go as with comma and how we're giving two inputs into print? We will learn when we come to little functions. Else if so kind of copying this now. So it's all about practice of how quickly we can write code also. If I get a chance to do it, I won't hesitate to write code quickly. Result is x minus y. So I have all of this from here to here. It will be now minus star and star divide and x by y. And finally, I'll say else print like the same that you all did. Operator not recognized. I'm still cracking up for the way Jeff gave his print statements. Instead of just remarks like this, it was much more creative. Operator not recognized. And that is a challenge, and we don't like it as a feature, but that's where programs get better and we get into versions. End of my code, and I have my code now. I click and run. 11, 12 divide. Oh, what is off to? Why did off to come? How did I change? Why are you not helping me with the team? You saw it and did not answer, did not tell me that I misnamed. It was a genuine mistake. I overlooked it. Don't know why I did that. But then, if you notice, this is where programming languages like Java get better, because I have to define that. So now I had to run the code to make this stupid reality come true that there's no OP2. There's only one variable called OP1, operator 1. And if it was declaration, then syntax itself would have failed. That how come you're using a variable that's not declared? That's what the world of Java happens. But in the world of Python, we want you to have more options given to you, and we trust you and your skills that you learned it better and you know how to do it. So we don't want to spoon feed much, and that's where Python is really a strong scripting programming language. And the way it interprets also is amazing, team. So right click and run again. I'm going to do the same one. Oopsie. 11, 12, divide, and there we go. And when we get into next sessions, team, we will do some string and number operations, how we can do, for example, truncating them or rounding them off and so on. All right, let's move on to one more. User login. Now, see what I mean to say here is let me put a purpose for it. Purpose of this is user name and password are hard coded in our program. Okay, that's number one. We have it. User must enter the right combination to be able to log in. Else, user will get rejected. User can try up to 3 times and the program stops after. Understood, everyone, what the exercise is? Anyone with a question? What we want to do, all right? And as part of this, we will have to learn for and while as well. I don't think we'll finish all of it in today's session, team. It will be extended to Monday as well. But let's start working on it. So basically, what is hard coding, team? Hard coding is basically saying that my values are put in the code as numbers. They won't change, and they won't change internally, rather from internal or external. External access. So we're basically putting value into it. And if you want to change it, you can change the values of it. But let us say the first username I have is KK. Okay. And I'll just say UN1T. I may have more users. Okay. And I'll say user password 1 for this is 1234. Now, what is the exercise or activity that I want to do? First, I want to take an input and I'll say username equals input. In this case, we want it as string and username. So no type conversion is needed. Just as is. And then user password. Now, how many variables are there in this program so far? Can someone tell me, please? How many variables do we have in the program so far? And what are they of type? How many variables are there? And what type is today? See, some of you making that mistake, team. We said 2. We have 4 variables, team. These are my hard-coded variables. Check against. These are user entered values, and they are basically our variables. Now, the reason we have to take this is because we need to match them. So there is a value that is expected. So let us say expected, and this is your actual, what is coming. Making sense, everyone? Now what we will do is if un1 equals kk, and no, see, that is where the problem is. What will I compare? Actual with the expected. And I will not say kk always. Why should I say? un1 equals username and up1 equals user password. Okay. Then colon will say print user logged in successfully. And print give access to the user. That's what we do. Now what will our else do? And it is not about our final goal, team. I know that our final goal has a lot more, but we're building it in a way that one part after the other. So we'll make a base version that will work the main core logic, then we'll expand on to it. Else, I'm going to print the same, user logged in unsuccessfully. Give access, deny access. Okay, so these are the two things. Let's try and execute this, team. Oh, it's come here, sorry. All right. So let's say I enter something incorrect, enter password, and it says user logged in unsuccessfully, deny access, and that is what we expected. So that is correct. Our code has worked on that. Let's enter the right information. User logged in successfully, give access. So this works fine. Now, but if I want it to give the user 3 attempts to log in before it throws up, how can I do it? To be able to do that, the first thing I want you to learn is the concept of for loop. And we will learn for loop in like a couple of portions. One right now as basic for loop and how things work. And as we go into more and more sessions, we will go deeper into it. So what is the need, team? When I want to repeat a piece of code, a block of code, right? Now, a block of code could be one line or thousands of lines. When I want to repeat a block of code certain number of times, that's when we use for loop. So the name for is maybe a little confusing, but all programming languages right from the very old use them as for and if statement and for loops. So it kept like that. But the purpose is very simple, team. If I say for I in range of 10, okay, and print I, what this basically does is it goes through the whole value starting with 0 being the first number team and till that value. Now a similar code in Java to show you will look like for int I equals 0. I is, and is it printing 10 here for us? No, it is up to 10, but it doesn't go there team, because basically printing 10 items. So start from 0 the count to 9, it becomes 10 items for us. When we say I is less than 10 and I plus plus, or I equals I plus 1. Now this is the size of the Java code. And then I can say system.out.println and say now this is my Java code. So when Python started evolving, they basically wanted to make it simpler. They definitely used looked at Java and seen what could be improved further. So all this has been put into this. As soon as I say for I in range of 10, it will do that for me. So for example, what is it that we could do with this? A lot of things, team, but just let's look at few important things right now as to a range of 2, let's say 1, 20 or 10, 20 and print I work. Now what will happen here, team? See, and that is where we got to be able to realize if we are doing hurried programming and we are in a hurry of finishing things, we can make simple mistakes like this. I defined an IE here and used here. I defined J here and using here. Can someone tell me what will come out as print if I do that? It will keep on printing the last value of I, which was 9. It will keep printing that how many ever number of times, because that is a bug that we put in. So see, it's kept on printing 9 a few number of times. Now let's make this 30 and print J. So whatever we're giving there, we're putting the same thing. The way it works is very simple, team, or it is the way we can look at it. When we say for, it is pointing to that start the counter, and we're putting a variable called I. I is telling us that that's the main variable in which the count will be. Range is a word that tells me that go through a count starting from 0 all the way till 10. And the same thing in this case for J in range of 10 to 30, when we say print J, the primary thing is it will go up to 30, less than 30, but the count itself has started from 10t. Okay, so the actual, it will be confusing. Let's put 100. Now it will be easy. Oh, then I have to put 1. All right. So only 2 types of for loops right now. For loop through strings, we'll look at it later. So I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that came out of the first for loop. And the second one, it started from 100. So basically when I said for J in range 100, 130, it is saying that start with 100, go to increment at a stretch of 1 at a time, and keep going till 130, till less than 130. That is what it is defining. Now let me put 1 print. I'll introduce you to new lines later. Just a second. I'm going to have a little shorter session today. We're going to go deeper in the next ones. If there are any questions that or issues that you're there having, let me know, please. I We'll end the session right after a couple of minutes. So ij, let's use another variable k team. So be careful about variables. Try and be as open as possible about it. It is not good to really worry too much about variables. Now, from 100 to 130, but I will go at a step count of 3 each time. I think this is correct. I'm not sure that's the right format. But it is saying each time this was counting at 1. Now I think it will count 3 steps at a time, or 3 numbers at a time. Let me see. Oh no, something wrong I did totally. Maybe it will start with
K, print K.
right. Is this
Uh,
correct?
Karthik, print K. You put J.
Oh, you're right. Thank you. You're right. See, simple errors. And let's try and see first what it's giving us. Yeah, I think it's working fine. It starts from 100, but the count is going at the rate of 3 at a time. It's skipping 3 and going to the next, skipping 3 and going to the next. So this way, you're able to loop through a set of code that we're doing process. Now, for a user login, if it fails one time, I want to be able to repeat it a few times. So how many times should I loop? Then 3 times, correct? So I'll create a new one team. Well, user login 2. Okay. Copy everything from the 1 version. The reason I'm creating multiple versions is, when you practice saying, when you're looking at this, it's easy to just refer this code team. Now, what am I saying? I want to loop through. Tell me where my loop should start from, team. Which line number? Everyone should put that message in chat. I want to put a for loop. Where should it start from? Which line number must the for loop start from? Everyone? It will end at 26 and you're saying start at 19. But don't you think that we have to take inputs each time? If we start at 19, then we're taking the inputs only one time, correct? If the input is incorrect, then we have to take it multiple times. So it should come, take input and verify. Then repeat it second time, repeat it third time. So now if I say for, what should I say? Some variable x. Did I use x here? No. X in range of what? 3 is fine. I just want to do it for 3 times, correct? And I take this entire code and put a tab. So it basically comes within my for loop. So how do we know that this state is there within that? And that, this line number here is outside it, only through this simple indent here. Okay, the tab space, your indent that we're giving is giving us the idea that it belongs to a block of code, and in this case it's a for loop. Is it clear? Very, very clear for everyone? If not, please go back once again and watch this video, team, and we will use this massively. Now see, what am I saying? Let's go and repeat this 3 times. So I have my expected username and password, and I want the user to enter it. So let's see. So I enter KK, oops, KK, enter 1, 2, 3, 4. I think uppercase it won't take, team. It is unsuccessful. Let's ask me to enter username again. So I'll enter lower KK and 1, 2, 3, not 4, and again it failed. Now I'll say KK, oops, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and it has logged in. Give access. That's good. So my code works, correct? Can I confirm that my code works, everyone? Any issues with my code? It's looking at 3 times for logging. Now let's look at a scenario where I right click and I run again, and this time I'm getting smarter. I'm remembering my details better. So I'll say KK 1234. It has logged me in and given access, but again it is asking me for username and password. So even if I enter correct or wrong, for sure each time it is taking me through this. So it is not letting me choose. So what is happening? For loop is always doing or looping a certain number of times, predefined times, and that predefined times is already decided here. So we know how many times it's looping through, but we're not saying how can we stop looping once a condition is true or false. So that's the other thing that we'll. And for that, let's connect again on Monday, team, and we will be going through the while loops as to why they have come into picture and why we're getting stuck on that. Okay. So did you notice, team, why the error came up? Even if I log in correctly, it is asking me to log in 3 times. If I log in incorrectly, also 3 times. Every time it is saying 3. If I log in correctly, it should not ask me again to enter. If I log in incorrectly, it should give me 3 chances in total. And that is the variation we'll put in. Break and other things later, team. But for now, let's try and understand why while is used. And if you get time, work on this program so far. And yeah, even if you can work till whatever we're doing so far, that's good enough, team. All right, great. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you back on Monday. Thank you for coming back to the class. I know I said it's cancelled, and then I picked up saying, let's do it. Thank you for joining in. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye now. See you on Monday. Bye.